So the Heke Ahunga Tikanga is really a foundational year which begins really with understanding the beginnings of law in Te Ao Māori, so thinking about whakapapa and the beginnings of law, and then really exploring and thinking critically about key principles and values that underlie our tikanga, our system of law, including thinking about how tikanga derived from and associated with atua, so thinking about the laws of Ranginui and Papatūānuku, Moana and Tangaroa, Tāne, and to have that foundation of where our tikanga comes from and why we do things the way we do. So the Poutuarongo, we move from the Heke in the first year to the second and third year of the program, really provides an opportunity to start from that tikanga basis, keeping tikanga centred as the idea of tikanga being the first law of Aotearoa, but to begin to explore some of the interactions with Pākehā law, but also think about he whakaputanga and te tiriti o waitangi in a tikanga context, what that tells us about expressions of rangatiratanga, and to see what the impact of Pākehā law has been on our tikanga, on our understandings of te tiriti and rangatiratanga, and think about strategies for expressing and maintaining rangatiratanga.
The Whaotahu program starts with creation theory, looking at our own theories of existence, because that really provides the philosophical platform, if you like, for our tikanga, for our law. Then it moves into, once we look at we actually acknowledge that there are many different creation theories, that not all iwi are the same. So we encourage students to explore their own particular iwi and hapu versions of creation theory. Once we've got that foundation, we ask the students to start extracting, if you like, or distilling from that theory the foundational principles, the mātāpono. What are the values that emerge from their particular iwi hapu versions of creation, how we got to be here. I guess the thing about creation theory that we always find interesting is that it seeks to answer universal questions. Who are we? Why are we here? How do we get here? But even though the questions are universal, the answers are really very unique. No one hapu iwi answers in the same way. So that's why we encourage students to pursue their own particular bodies of knowledge. So once they've done that, start to look at the key values that emerge, and we find at that point that there's a lot of commonality between the different versions. That even though there are variations in the creation theory, the mātāpono that emerge from them are quite similar. Once we've had a look at what those values are, those principles, we then start to look at what the tikanga is, the law that puts into practice those values and principles. So then we start looking at particular aspects of tikanga, and again the students can really pick and choose what they want to look at. And to round the year off, we then look at how some of those tikanga, some of those expressions, practical expressions of the values have been distorted, for want of a better word, by values that have been introduced that actually don't come from our creation theories but come from somewhere else.
So in the tāhuhu there's an opportunity for students through discussion to really think about ways in which our tikanga can guide processes for exercise of mana motuhake when it's been challenged, or where it's often been subject to the impact of kāwanatanga, and to think about, in depth, to think about the strategies that might help, based on our tikanga, to deliver on that mana motuhake. And so thinking about what past examples of that we've seen our people use previously, how that might inform what we do going forwards, and also to think about the importance of tikanga in helping, or key principles of tikanga such as whanaungatanga and whakapapa, in supporting kotahitanga in moving some of the aspirations of iwi, hapu, whānau Māori forwards as well. In the tāhuhu too, there's also an opportunity to think about the constitutional arrangements and how we might understand the relationship between tino rangatiratanga and kāwanatanga, and how tikanga can help us to structure those relationships and inform those in a way which was envisaged in Te Tiriti.